4radio.com.
Terrestrial Silver was founded in 1997. Our goal today remains the same as it was back then, to provide you, our customer, with a quality custom buckle at an affordable price. From 1 to 100, our buckles are all made one at a time by hand. Our only limit is your imagination. Give us a call today at 800-550-7535 and let us help you design your next trophy buckle. That's Terrestrial Silver, Llano, Texas. Find us on Facebook or at terrestrialsilver.com. Proud to be part of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. American Hat Company is known throughout the world as the hat preferred by rodeo champions, ranchers, everyday cowboys, cowgirls, and rodeo fans. From the arena to the boardroom, no one does it better. Handmade in Bowie, Texas, American hats are made with tradition in the old-fashioned way. From the finest in felts to the best in straws, there is an American hat for every occasion. The CB Cowgirls are proud to have our ambassadors wearing the #1 hat in the world. Thank you, American Hat. Find your own American hat at your favorite retailer. American Hats, handcrafted since 1915.
In today's busy world, it's nice to know that help is just a moment away. Andrea at Rodeo Spot Marketing is your one-stop shop. Full-service web and graphic design service, along with photo projects, printing services, marketing, and promotional. Let their staff take the stress off you and put a smile on your face. Always creative, always competitive priced, always working for you. That's Rodeo Spot Marketing. Find them at rodeospot.com. Tell Andrea the CB Cowgirls sent you.
She's Gone Country is proud to have as our charity of choice the Rodeo Historical Society. Working under the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum of Oklahoma City, RHS members from around the world share an interest in preserving the history of rodeo. Membership supports the rodeo programs, the American Rodeo Gallery, and the prestigious Rodeo Hall of Fame. A visit to Persimmon Hill and the museum is truly like taking a step back in time. Join us at SGC in supporting the Western way of life by becoming a member today. For more information, email Shays Michael at nationalcowboymuseum.org.
This is 4Radio, a media platform used to elevate voices and empower dreams.
All right, rodeo fans, it's time for She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. Introducing your host, Becky Christensen, and co-host, Vicki Christensen O'Shields. Hey, let's ride.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. This is your host, Becky Christensen, and I am so glad you guys are tuning in tonight. We've got a great show in store for you tonight. If you're listening tonight, you've either tuned in by calling live to 347-857-3760, and if you are one of those folks that have called in that number and we're getting into the show and there's something you'd like to visit with our guests about or ourselves about, please be sure to press 1, and that will take you into the host queue so that our producer, Maria DiGiovanni, can let us know that you're on the line, and we can bring you on the air. Otherwise, you're streaming through Facebook or our website, she'sgonecountry.us, and we're just glad to have you. I want to say thank you so much, of course, to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do the show without you, and we really, really appreciate you. And I want to bring on right now my co-host. Our guest co-host, Donna Lynn's on tonight, but my co-host is here, and I am happy to have her, and that's my aunt, Vicki Christensen O'Shields. Vicki, are you there?
Hey, Becky, I am. Good evening, everyone. Beck, what can I say? You know, we have a great show lined up this evening, and I can't wait to dive into it.
And I must say, before we even dive into that, you sound so much better. So that tells me you are finally getting back to yourself and healthy after that long battle you had.
That is going to be a big thank you, Jesus. Yes, I am. I tell you what, it has been, for this gal that's never down and always on the go, it was a difficult time trying to wait it out and get well. But I'm back. Thank you, Becky.
Yay. Well, yeah, and we had a great month last month, and going into the month of April, we've got some great guests lined up, so make sure you're stay tuned. One thing I want to state is I want to say welcome to all of our ambassadors that we have announced and crowned this, I shouldn't say crowned, but we've announced and delegated. This is a new platform and a new way of bringing our show and everything that CB Cowgirls is all about to a vast array of folks out there in the U.S. So I'm really excited about that. You'll be hearing more as we dive into that in the next coming weeks. So stay tuned to our website and Facebook and see all those things that are going on. We will be on site down in Salt Lake City next week this weekend, Saturday, for the ERA event that's going on down there. So again, stay tuned to all the social media for that. So that should be fun. But, and Vicki, you know, before we bring our guests on, I'm going to actually I'm going to take a back seat because, growing up, I got to tell our listeners this real quick. Growing up, I always wanted to be my Aunt Vicky. And it was always funny because, she was beautiful, and I always followed her around and thought, one day I'm going to be Miss Rodeo Oregon, or I'm going to be a PRCA trick rider like my Aunt Vicky. In fact, I wanted to be a trick rider so bad, and I'm going to just put myself on blast, and it's kind of embarrassing, but it's fun to tell. I used to trick ride on my teeter-totter out in the yard at the ranch. And I fell off one time. I don't know. I think I was doing maybe the Cossack drag, or I don't know, the flyaway. I don't know. I did something, and it was an old swing set, and it didn't have the little plastic jobbies on the feet, and one of them fell off, and I fell, and I still have a scar under my armpit today from my attempts at trick riding on the teeter-totter because I wanted to be just like my Aunt Vicky. So with that segue. And Vicky, I know our guests tonight are very near and dear to your heart, so I'm going to let you introduce our guests tonight.
Thank you, Becky. And I also want everyone to know that, I did suffer the consequences and got to blame Becky for those 24 stitches plus that you had while you were practicing all these trick riding skills. And when you finally got old enough, no wonder your mom and dad said, no, absolutely not. But, Becky, trick riding was something very near and dear to my heart. And I did it for a number of years, and it remains very special to me today. And I truly, truly am so honored to introduce our guest tonight because this mother and daughter duo have performed across the United States, foreign countries. They have always strived to bring the Western way of life, bring it alive to others and to those that know nothing else about it. In fact, one thing that really struck my heart was when I was reading through their bio. I believe it was Bobbie, and it's a quote, and it says, "It's the little memories that will last a lifetime." So without no further ado, welcome to She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls, Bobbie Stone and her beautiful daughter, Josey Lynn, mother and daughter trick riding team Beyond. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us, and a great introduction.
Yeah, hope we live up to that.
Oh, hey, now there is absolutely no doubt in my mind you're going to live up to it and go beyond. Bobbie, let's visit with you first. You're from the West Coast, and of course that's where we grew up, out there on the West Coast. But tell us a little bit, if you would, about your background and about when Josey came along and how the two of you worked, one of the greatest trick riding acts together.
Well, when I got to ride horses most of my life. They were usually somebody's ranch horse or whatever, or something broken down, something that somebody gave us. But I saw trick riders at Reading Rodeo one year. I thought, I think I might want to try that. And when I was 19, because I had to save my own money and everything to do that, I found Dick and Connie Griffith, and they taught me how to trick ride. And we got to go I got off to a really good start with, being attached kind of to them. And then, so I was able to go to overseas and do quite a few things. And then when Josey came along, and I got my PRCA card in 1976, and Josey came along in 1984, and I'm sure everyone thought that I would have her standing up, just in diapers or whatever, but I kind of waited to see if she really wanted to do it, and I don't really believe that you can force kids to do something just because you'd really like to see them, but thank goodness she decided she wanted to ride horses and not motorcycles, and I didn't have to change my event. And so when she was 9, she got her PRCA card, and it's kind of been nonstop ever since.
Wow, 9 years old. And that, Bobbie, this is Becky, and I love the fact, and I was really excited to bring you guys on the show because you're a mother-daughter duo, and it's all, about the legacy and the stories behind the stories and passing it on to generation to generation, and that's what you guys have done and are doing. And, my question would be to both Bobbie and Josey. One, Bobbie, what was, was it back when Josey was 9, odd thing that a 9-year-old was getting a PRCA card? And Josey, what was that like for you?
Well, for me, I guess
just in hearing everybody, the announcers would say that I was the youngest member of the PRCA. So, I kind of knew it was special, but I know of a couple other trick riders that started when they were young. One of the Ellerman girls, she started when she was really young, and she's the one that told me when I first began, she said, you better enjoy performing while you're a kid when you can, because one day you're going to have to learn how to trick ride. You can't just stand there and smile. And I remember thinking, I am trick riding. I don't know what you're talking about. But it certainly does change when you're not the little cute kid anymore. That, you have to hold your own in the arena. So I knew it was special, but I probably, just kind of, I had the opportunity that year. Mom went and trick rode with Vicki Tyre and Linda Schultz, and they went to 76 performances that summer, and they each had a kid along with them also, and we did kind of like a little 3-ring circus pre-rodeo show, and then we'd all do stuff just on the lunge line, and then we would turn our horses loose and go make a few runs. So I was able to be around a few other kids that it probably helped make it seem a little more normal to me, I guess.
And back then, Becky, the insurance became a big deal, and you couldn't just get your kids a card. We wound up kind of having to go to battle a little bit and say, hey, what will happen to our sport if we don't, keep these kids interested in everything? And so there was Josey and 2 other ones that actually wound up when the law changed or the rule changed that you had to be 18 to get a PRCA card. There was actually, I believe, 3 of them that got grandfathered in, and to keep, they already had cards, and so they couldn't pull them, and that was a good thing.
Right. Well, and it's so funny how times have changed, and we're gonna go to break just a few seconds early and come back with you guys. But the PRCA has changed so much since I was young, and Aunt Vicki and Aunt Linda and Aunt Sherry were trick riding, and I'm sure since Bobbie you started, everything's about evolution and changing, and it'll be fun to talk about when we get back how that has changed and how you guys have transitioned and gone through the ebbs and the flows of the years and the changes, and still stayed a tight-knit group doing what you love so much. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to visit with Bobbie Stone and Josey Lynn. Stay tuned.
4radio.com.
Fuel Up is proud to be part of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. Fuel is for all of you that are on the go and want to feel your very best. The Fuel product line was created with your active lifestyle in mind. Strengthen your body for increased performance, increase your health and vitality with essential nutrients, and create and maintain a lean body. All this with one amazing product. Throw all the others away. Fuel is all you will ever need. Remember to eat healthy and exercise regularly. For more information, find us on the web at fuelup.com.
Rebecca Lawler Limited is the culmination of a lifelong dream for philanthropist and designer Rebecca Lawler. She designed her patented, unique glass heart, which is handcrafted by glass artists in Virginia. Placed in the center is a brilliant gem. The heart can be worn with the Rebecca Lawler Limited signature ribbon or an awareness ribbon of choice. To join the mission of the Hearts of Hope Foundation and add a Rebecca Lawler signature heart to your own personal style, go to RebeccaLawlerLimited.com. That's RebeccaLawlor Limited.com.
West & Company Jewelry is a family-owned and operated business with a close eye on all the latest trends. Beautiful pieces created with you in mind. Dress up, dress down. Jill and her staff are constantly creating new designs that set the fashion world on fire. Be sure to check out their Facebook page and then go to sales at westandcompanyjewelry.com and click on store search. We're betting you will fall in love. A big thank you to West & Company for providing our ambassadors with that special piece to accent their wardrobe and the Western way of life they live. Stand out in the crowd. We're West & Company.
She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls is proud to have as our charity of choice Man Up Crusade. Man Up is working in the Western world to reduce domestic violence in society and contribute to social change by promoting safe and healthy relationships. Growing up in a violent home is one of the most terrifying and traumatic experiences a child can go through. Let's work together to help those afflicted to stand and know they're not alone. Find out more at manupcrusade.com. Take a stand and break the cycle of domestic violence.
4radio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. I am so glad you're tuning in tonight. With me tonight is my co-host, Vicki Christensen O'Shields, and we have got the pleasure of visiting with two icons of the rodeo industry and contract personnel and just infamous trick riders throughout the industry. We're welcoming them to the show, and that's Bobbie Stone and her daughter, Josey Lynn. And boy, if I could become untongue-tied tonight. So, ladies, thank you again for joining me.
You're just breaking the ice because that's what we were afraid of being.
Hey, Bobbie, Josey, this is Vicki, and your careers. I mean, Josey, you're still trick riding. Bobbie, you are too. But I know that due to circumstances, you're not together all the time. Every month, every day of the year, the way you have been in the past. And I know that, Josey, you've been here in Texas. Are you still in Texas, or you're back out in California now with your mom because you're both on together tonight?
Right. I'm visiting out here for a couple of weeks, and then I will be back in Texas. So, yep, I live right outside Fort Worth still.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And she has to come here once in a while because I go through withdrawals.
Oh, Bobbie, I know you must. I mean, I can't imagine. I know my husband and I had the pleasure of watching Josey perform a couple of years ago at the Llano rodeo down here in Llano County, and got my heart thumping. I mean to tell you, I didn't want to go saddle up, but I thought about it, and I knew, Bobbie, you would go saddle up.
Yeah, I was actually on her horse there. So.
Oh, I know, that's right, Josey. You told me that. Let's talk a little bit about the horses, girls. I don't think that our audience really knows what goes in, and I know each of us, that one special horse throughout our lifetime. But tell us a little bit about the horses that you've had through the years and how you've brought them up through the ranks.
Well, I will say you're very correct in that we all have that one horse, and I know that can actually be pretty limiting on girls' career. They lose that good horse, and you just can't do it without them. I would say it's 95% of what we do. We have to be able to count on that horse. So I've been blessed to have quite a few great ones, and I've really learned to appreciate the ones that my mom and grandpa raised together. To really it really does make you appreciate the tradition and legacy that y'all were talking about. There's a lot of knowledge back in the years of our generations that I've really come to appreciate. I think the season that I saw you, I rode 6 different horses that year. And it does make you kind of toughen up as a trick rider, but it does take some of the fun out of it also when you're always trying to get used to a different stride or different way that they run, and it really makes you appreciate when you get a good one.
Absolutely. Well, and go ahead.
Well, and I have a question too. This is Becky, and this question I think is really, you both could answer it if you want. But one thing I've noticed is you guys have really great horses, and you love those horses, and you rely on them just like barrel racers rely on their horses, team ropers, calf ropers, bulldoggers. You're a package deal, but not just are you package deal with your horses, you're a package deal with your group. And there's been such an evolution, I think, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, where, the Contracts Act kind of going ways. And there seemed like there was a time where I remember looking around going, what happened to trick riding? Because, of course, it was my favorite sport, as we heard at the very beginning of the hour. And how did you guys stay fresh and current and keep with the trends so that you stayed on the forefront of the rodeo committees?
It's kind of hard, and it has been a hard sell over the years. And one thing that I think that made us strong is that we still believe in that concept of, keeping that fan base and going back. We usually go back up into the stands after we've ridden and go shake hands with the little kids and all those little girls like yourself that, wanted to be a trick rider or whatever, let them take pictures. And, we made a little coloring book to hand out and, some things like that
ride in the parade and talk to the radio stations. And
try to make that effort. And I feel that PBR proved that is a valuable tool, but because I think at some other levels of rodeo, they're losing their fan base, and I'm a believer in that's part of the reason why. You want those little kids to grow up to want to be cowboys and cowgirls, not motorcycle computer guys. You know, we need that fan base, and we've worked hard to do that.
Bobbie, this is Vicki, and you know, just what you said, so very, very true, because you keep reconnecting new generations with the old, and you keep bringing them on forward. You know, we don't have a lot of time tonight, but one particular rodeo that comes to my memory that used to be a gathering place for trick riders was Salinas. And how many years did you and Josey work Salinas?
I think Josey and I've got to work it together 3 or 4 times, and I think I've gotten to work it. I might have the record in the, you know, modern generations, I guess, because I've worked it, I think, 6 or 7 times, and you know, and it was great, because there was like 7 or 8 of us the first year I got to ride there, and then we all did a sellout in the Hippodrome, and then the next year everybody was like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to work Salinas. Everybody's got to start trick riding. There's no introduction run. You come in trick riding and you sell out trick riding. It was like, yeah, but it's great. Come on, you guys, you know. And that's
right. It's still on the
did
track.
Support it.
Yeah, and
it is on the track.
Yeah, a whole different world on the track. Yeah. Wow.
It is, yeah.
Always one of my favorites, Salinas.
But they have kind of changed it. Some of these newer groups,
it's on the track, but they run a circle on it. And
they put the little gates up like the cutting contest or the reining deal, and they don't run that whole track that's wide open like in the olden days, you know. And
I mean, it was Katie bar the door.
Yes. And for the record, Vicki, you're still beautiful. Becky didn't lose any part of that part. I'm every time I see you, you're jealous. I'm jealous. It's like,
oh, Bobbie. That's a sweet compliment. I appreciate hearing that, because I'm the oldster of the group here. That's for certain. Well, Bobbie, Josey, we are running out of time. Tell us a little bit about what the future's going to hold for both of you as far as trick riding and going down the road, and then maybe a highlight, something that really sticks in your mind that you'll never forget about your trick riding careers.
Well, I have a pretty busy season lined out. We have a couple tours that we're excited to be part of, and then I'll be actually spending a couple months up in the Northeast. I'm going to go up to New York and Pennsylvania, so that's always kind of a different atmosphere. They don't get to see a whole lot of rodeo, so that's always a fun crowd to perform for. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll get Mom to move to Texas so she can be a little more part of it, too.
I think we need to do that, Josey. Bobbie, you need to come to Texas.
I know. I've been kind of, you know, I've been waiting for Josey to land, and truly I wasn't kidding when Josey and I were not just mother and daughter, but that empty nest deal really went triple fold when I lost my trick riding partner, too. And so I have a couple. We have another partner here, and we have a little young student. We have a couple shows booked for this season. And at the end of the year, when Josey's tour is done, and I'm the state rodeo secretary here for CCPRA, and so in the end of the season, we're going to reevaluate things and see what the possibilities are of,
like you said,
getting to Texas.
Everything
changes.
It's really sad to think about, like we were talking about with Salinas, how much rodeo and trick riding has changed. And I feel like my mom, more so than myself, has so much knowledge and experience that it would be a shame to not share with people who are interested in learning. So, I don't know, hopefully we'll be able to set up something where she can keep teaching people.
And as far as
highlights, it would be wonderful.
You know, there's hardly, I don't know that there's any one particular show, and I got to work Cheyenne, Dodge City, and a lot of them. But the ones when I get to look over and see that my daughter's out there with me are really, truly special.
Oh, wow. Y'all are going to have me in tears. Now stop this.
Well, that's why I stop quiet.
You know, and we get it. It's funny because, you know, the whole concept of our show is just about, you know, going back to your roots and bridging that gap and really because the society has changed so much and because, we've become such a fast-paced generation, everything's becoming industrialized, it's really important to really slow down. And rodeo is great and fun and it's an exciting event, but there's more to just what's in front of, the lights, and that's the part that people need to grab hold on. And I don't know if that's, getting
Absolutely.
into the schools and speaking with the kids and getting and rousing up that energy and that thrill to see it and to learn more about it. That's what we're all about. And so we appreciate you being on the show. I wish we had more time. Really quick, how do people find you? Other than you guys both have Facebook, but do you guys have a website or anything like that folks can go to and really just kind of dive into what it is you guys are out there doing and where your tour is?
Probably the best one would be our Daredevil Sweethearts Facebook. DaredevilSweethearts.com is under construction right now. And then the other group that I'm part of is the Dynamite Dames. So DynamiteDames.com has part of my other schedule on there. And that would be the best way, probably Facebook. Okay, perfect. Well, there you go, folks. If you want to look for them, find them on Facebook, find them on, did you say Dynamite Dames and Dynamite Dames.
Say it one more time.
Daredevil Sweetheart. Or even our own names, and we'll get back with them. And I have Josey Lynn, Trick and Fancy Rider on Facebook also.
Yeah, and my name's on there too. I have a Facebook account, so. Nice.
And I know you guys have a great following. You guys have got great women and athletes working with you, and I'm really excited for everything. It's exciting to see trick riding coming back full force the way it is. I love it, always have. I've got the scars to prove it, and I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to turn it over to Aunt Vicki to close out the show and say goodnight, and we'll see you guys next week on She's Gone Country, the CB Cowgirls.
Thank you, Becky. Thanks, Becky. Bobbie, Josey, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do to keep the Western way of life alive. And, of course, Trick and Fancy Riding. I mean, there's nothing else like it in the world. I just want to wish you well. God bless you all. Listeners, thank you for being with us here tonight. And we're going to close the show out with a little cowgirl logic from our good friend Crystal Lyons from Mason, Texas. Good night, everyone.
I'm Crystal Lyons, and one time my dog, trying to climb a fence, got her back leg hung, and she was hanging by her back leg. It broke it dislocated some stuff. And while I got her to the vet, I was talking to him about how amazing it was that after the initial accident happened, she didn't even hardly whimper. And she was in a lot of pain. But he brought up something that I'd never thought about before. He said animals don't show pain because if they do, it'll make themselves prey to predators. Oh, my goodness. When I get hurt, I tend to want to milk it for all it's worth. We tend to talk about our sickness, our broken heart, our disadvantaged self, and we love to parade our victimized selves around for all to sympathize with. And while that will get us some mileage among the sympathetic, after a while it actually retards the healing process and aids in keeping us weak and vulnerable. It is well said that we can't be pitiful and powerful. We need to learn what the animals know. Woundedness makes us vulnerable to predators. When wounded, one needs to stay close to those who can be trusted to protect us while we're vulnerable. But we can't live our life always leaning on the strength of others. We've got a purpose in our heart to do whatever it takes to become strong and whole within ourselves. And while a person is in the healing process, it's wise to practice being strong. Let the past go. Don't continue to play those old tapes in your head. And if I do my part, I can trust God to do His. Some things simply cannot be healed without His touch. What courage Camo showed while going through pain. Geez, God, help me be as good as my dog. I'm Crystal Lyons, and this is Cowgirl Logic. For more, go to cowgirllogic.net.
All of us here at Tres Rios Silver are proud to offer a complete award lineup, from saddles, tack, and all in between. Tres Rios is your one-stop shop. Give the shop a call today to discuss your association award needs with one of our family design staff. And don't forget to shop online with us for that special gift. Our new online store features beautiful jewelry, tees, caps, and much more. Proud to be part of She's Gone Country with the CB Cowgirls. That's Tres Rios Silver, Llano, Texas. Find us on Facebook or at TresRiosSilver.com.
forradio.com.